What if I told you Jeffy is secretly a good kid? Yeah, I know, green beans, tantrums, the whole deal. But stick with me, because what you're about to see about Jeffy's hidden heart might just change how you see the entire SML crew, because these are the 7 heavenly virtues of SML. All right, let's talk about a character in the SML universe who embodies a virtue that might surprise you. Rose, Marvin's wife. Yes, you heard me right. Chastity. Now, before you make a Rose is a hoe joke, hear me out. I know. It seems absurd considering the overall tone of SML, but think about it. Rose lives in a house full of chaos, surrounded by characters who revel in crude humor and inappropriate behavior. Yet, she consistently maintains a sense of normalness and moral uprightness. While Marvin's busy cracking dirty jokes or getting into ridiculous situations, Rose is usually the voice of reason, expressing her disapproval and trying to maintain some semblance of order. She's constantly rolling her eyes, shaking her head, or flat out walking away in disgust. Rose rarely participates in inappropriate conversations or activities that dominate the SML world. She doesn't initiate any questionable behavior usually, and she often seems genuinely appalled by the antics of those around her. Her focus is on keeping the house clean, taking care of her family, trying to instill some basic values in her son, Jeffy, even if she isn't the most morally correct person herself. She's like that one friend who always calls you out on when you're being a jerk, reminding you to be mindful of your actions and consider the consequences. And so in the whirlwind of insanity that is SML, it's easy to overlook the voice of reason. But if you listen closely, amidst the screaming, the fart jokes, and the general mayhem, you'll hear the calm, collected voice of Cody, the embodiment of temperance. Cody is the ultimate straight man, even if that word doesn't really apply to him. He's the kid who actually tries to do his homework, the one who values knowledge and logic, the one who somehow manages to maintain a semblance of sanity amidst the chaos. While Junior's busy launching himself off the roof for no reason, or Jeffy is concocting another crazy scheme, Cody's usually found trying to explain the laws of physics, the importance of critical thinking, or just basic common sense. His patience is truly remarkable. He endures Junior's endless antics and the general insanity of their household with a stoicism that would put a Buddhist monk to shame. He rarely indulges in excessive behavior or vices, preferring instead to focus on his studies and responsibilities. Cody is the voice of self-control, moderation, and discipline. He's a constant reminder that even in the most chaotic environments, one can strive for balance and inner peace, if you could ever strive to achieve that in SML. Sure, he might get frustrated from time to time, and very frustrated, but who wouldn't in his situation? But he always manages to pull himself back from the brink, reminding us that logic and reason can prevail, even in the face of overwhelming absurdity of Junior's actions. Let's be real, Chef Pee-Pee has every right to be the most bitter, resentful character in the SML world. He's constantly overworked, underpaid, underappreciated, and forced to endure the antics of a man-child and a hyperactive sociopath. I'm looking at you, Bowser Jr. But beneath the exasperated sighs and muttered Spanish curses, Chef Pee-Pee actually embodies a surprising virtue, charity. Yes, he complains a lot, and by a lot, I mean a lot. But despite his constant grumbling, Chef Pee-Pee consistently puts the needs of others before his own. He cooks for the entire family, cleans up their messes, usually caused by Bowser's questionable hygiene or Junior's destructive tendencies, and somehow manages to keep the house functioning despite the constant chaos. You may argue that this is modern day slavery, but despite all that, he still is charitable. He shows a begrudging compassion for Bowser, even when the guy's being a complete moron. He offers advice, tries to guide him towards making better decisions, and often ends up bailing him out of trouble. Chef Pee-Pee even extends his generosity to guests, welcoming them into the home and preparing meals for them, even when he'd rather be anywhere else. He's the ultimate example of hospitality, even if he's forced to do it. He's like that friend who always complains about having people over, but then secretly loves having everyone over and goes above and beyond to make sure they're comfortable. Brooklyn Guy is the ultimate hustler. He's a man of many hats, both literally and figuratively, constantly working his ass off to make ends meet in the unpredictable world of SML. He embodies the virtue of diligence, showcasing an unwavering work ethic and a relentless pursuit of his goals. Think about it. This guy holds down multiple jobs: police officer, firefighter, taxi driver, you name it. He's constantly on the go, responding to emergencies, chasing after criminals, and dealing with the fallout of the SML world's various misadventures. And he doesn't just phone it in. Brooklyn Guy is dedicated to his work, persistent in the pursuit of justice, or at least maintaining some semblance of order, and resourceful in finding creative solutions to the problems he encounters. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty, to think outside the box, or to go the extra mile, even when it means dealing with Jeffy, Marvin, or Bowser Jr. He's like that friend who always has multiple side hustles, is constantly learning new skills, and somehow manages to juggle a million responsibilities without losing their cool. Well, maybe they lose their cool sometimes. Goodman, the wealthy and perpetually pestered resident of the SML universe, is an unlikely champion of patience. This guy is a walking, talking ATM to most of the SML characters, constantly bombarded with requests for money, ludicrous business proposals, and desperate pleas for financial assistance. Yet despite the constant harassment, Goodman only sometimes loses his cool. He endures the outrageous antics and blatant disrespect with a level of tolerance that borders on superhuman. As most people would have murdered Marvin by now. Let's be honest, this guy's got to be at least a little patient to have not murdered Marvin by now, even if he's threatened it 100 times. Maybe he secretly is a psychopath, but technically he is patient with Marvin, kind of. He patiently listens to every harebrained scheme and even manages to maintain a sense of humor when faced with the most ridiculous requests. Then he may lose his patience a little bit. Goodman doesn't let the greed and desperation of others get to him. He understands their motivations, recognizes their flaws, and even seems to pity them at times. To be honest, it was hard to fit this virtue, but if you blur your eyes a little bit and close your ears, Goodman sort of fits it. Disagree with me in the comments if you want. It's like that one rich relative who always gets bombarded with requests or loans, but somehow manages to remain gracious and understanding, even when everyone else would have cut them off long ago. Jeffy, the crayon-loving, tantrum-throwing, unpredictable force of nature in the SML world. He's known for his crude humor, destructive tendencies, and a general disregard for rules and society. But beneath this chaotic exterior, Jeffy surprisingly embodies the virtue of kindness. Now I know what you're thinking, kindness from Jeffy, but before you dismiss this, consider some of his actions. Despite his constant arguing with Mario, deep down, Jeffy cares for his adoptive father. He's shown genuine concern for Mario's well-being, comforting him when he's been injured or upset. You can probably think of a few times when Marvin was upset and Jeffy, in his own unique, special way, keyword on unique and special, tried to make him feel better. It might not have been the most conventional display of affection, but the intention was there, and really, that's all that matters. Jeffy also shows a surprising capacity for empathy towards Bowser Jr. and his friends. He's been known to comfort them when they're feeling down, even offering words of encouragement. It's a stark contrast to his usual disrespectful behavior, revealing a softer side to Jeffy. And while Jeffy often creates chaos, he can also be genuinely happy for others' successes. He's expressed excitement for his friends' achievements, celebrating their victories as if they were his own. Furthermore, Jeffy's generosity, however sporadic, is undeniable. He shared his toys and belongings with others, demonstrating a willingness to give even when it means parting with something he treasures. He's like that kid who might pull your hair one minute and then offer you their favorite candy the next. Their actions are unpredictable, maybe even crazy, but their heart is often in the right place. You know, in the crazy world of SML, with everyone screaming, yelling, and just doing crazy stuff, it's easy to overlook the quiet presence of Joseph. He's often relegated to the background, a silent observer of the mayhem unfolding around him. But within his quiet nature lies a shining example of the virtue of humility. Before I get into this, Joseph the Millionaire is not canon. Disregard that video, that debunks this. Joseph doesn't seek attention from the spotlight. He's content to let others take center stage, offering a gentle smile or a knowing nod as the chaos ensures. He doesn't boast about his accomplishments or crave recognition as much as others. He's simply present, a calming force amidst the craziness. His personality is characterized by kindness and respect, sort of. He treats everyone with courtesy, sort of, regardless of their social standing, sort of, background, sort of, or even their questionable behavior, kind of. He doesn't judge or condescend. Sometimes he accepts people for who they are, flaws and all. Sometimes. When mistakes are made, Joseph doesn't shy away from responsibility. Sometimes. He owns his errors, apologizes sincerely, and seeks to make amends. He's not driven by ego or defensiveness, well, as much as Junior would be. He's focused on learning from his experiences and becoming a better person. Perhaps most importantly, Joseph expresses genuine appreciation for the kindness and support he receives from others. After all, he is homeless, and he is often very kind to Junior, who gives him a home to stay in. He recognizes their contributions, values their input, shows sincere gratitude for their presence in his life. He's like a quiet rock when you really think about it, a steady presence that grounds you amidst the craziness of life. So there you have it. Maybe the SML crew isn't as bad as we all think, or maybe I just needed a video topic I wanted to do. Who knows? But maybe there's hope for them after all, or maybe they'll just continue to kill each other and hurt each other and cause chaos in their lives. Either way, one thing's for sure, SML's funny and this video is fun to make. If you really like this video, watch the video on screen now because it's almost the exact same.